Hi, good morning or good afternoon, whenever it is you're watching this. My name is Raquel. Welcome to my podcast. Thank you to all new and returning viewers. And today is Sunday, the 23rd of October, meaning that there's a week, 8 days left for the end of October, so 8 more days on knitting socks. I'm sitting on the other side of the table where I usually sit. Lighting isn't too good today, and I thought the lighting on this side was better than on the other side. Today it's raining, it's cloudy. It was a bit sunny this morning, but now it's been raining already. Quite some heavy rainfall, and at the moment I see quite a lot of clouds going by. So yeah, let's start with finished objects. I have two pairs of socks. One of them I finished yesterday, the other one I showed last week, so we'll start with the ones I showed last week. These ones. I had one finished sock, and I was about halfway through the leg section on the second sock. So now I have two of them. These are, I believe, meadow. Are they meadow? No, these are staggered. I can't remember. I'll put them in the show notes. I forgot the patterns over there. I'm not gonna go get them now. So they're the first one. I think they are meadow. The first one from Beyond Vanilla Collection 2 by Mina Phillip, and I used the Choco Admiral RGO yarn with 2.25 millimeters, and I needed, like I mentioned last week, I did less rows on the foot because for some reason this yarn was knitting up at a looser gauge. So these were the first ones I finished, and then I started on the second one, on the next pair straight away, which is Riverbend, and they're here. This is the Fable, the Garden Studio Drops Fable, and I've worked a lot with this yarn. Maybe not necessarily with the print version. I have used some of this yarn before. You know, I usually use the solid colors, and these are I believe this one's called the long print, so it has like a long color repeat. Now, let me just tell you, this bled a lot onto my hands. I had my fingers, this part of my finger, my thumb, over here, this section here, wherever I was in constant contact with the yarn, my fingers were like dark gray, black almost. So either it's the dye that you used, I don't know, it bled a lot. So I'm going to wash these separately for the first time to see how much dye comes off these. Other than that, yeah, the yarn is I like the yarn. It's nice and it's perfect for socks. And it's got, this one at least has a nice color repeat, like, just simple grays. I do have another 4 balls, not this shade, but another shade that's gray, so now I know that those might bleed as well. So yeah, 2 finished pairs of socks. That gives my total up to 6. I have 6 pairs of socks finished for this month, and I finished the sock. Another thing I wasn't too pleased about with this, at least with these 2 balls that I had here, were that both of them started with a knot about, I'd started knitting with both of them, and I was about maybe 5 rows into the ribbing when I discovered a knot, so I just ripped that out and I continued. The first ball, that was fine. I didn't encounter any other knots. The second ball, I did encounter another knot just as I was starting around here on the foot. So that was a bit disappointing as well. And like I said, I've worked with the Garden Studio Travel yarn a lot, and I've never had that happen. So I guess I just got bad luck. I know. So yeah, I finished the second sock yesterday during the knitting group I went to. I'd already done the heel when I left the house, and I had maybe 5 rows of the foot done. Then I knit a bit of it on in the morning when I was at Ovelha Negra, and then I knit the rest during the knit group, and I kitchener it, and that was it. Then I started the next sock in the collection, and I finished the whole leg portion of the sock during the knitting group, because we were there slightly longer than usual. Yesterday, Rosario, who's the person behind the Donna Maria yarns, and I have some more to show you in a minute, so we can talk about her again, the yarn in a moment again. She came up to Porto yesterday to teach us a spinning, a drop spindle spinning class at Ovelha Negra in the afternoon. While we were at the knit group, she was teaching at Ovelha Negra, and then because she only had a train later in the evening around 9 o'clock, several of us from the knitting group decided to stay because she was going to come meet us at the cafe we were at. So we just stayed with her until around 8 o'clock when they went to catch the train to get to the other station so that they could go get the train that they needed because I believe it was 3 people that came from like the south, so I think one of them from the Coimbra area and 2 from the Lisbon area, so they had quite a long day. Yeah, they had quite a long day. So that's not to say that I didn't have a long day yesterday, because Sid decided to wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning and didn't let me get to sleep, so I had to keep him entertained, and I lounged around on the couch and everything, and then finally when I was ready to leave, that's when he decided to go to sleep. And he's asleep right now on the pillow here on the floor. He's had his activity for the day, I think. Hopefully he'll be nice and chill for the rest of the afternoon. So yeah, anyway, we were at the knitting group. I finished my sock, I cast on this one, and I did the whole leg. And then I came home yesterday and I just did the heel. And actually I did about first 20 to 30 rows on the sock when I realized I'd forgotten to decrease the extra stitches I picked up here in the corner. So I ripped it all the way back to the heel, and also there was like I don't know, it looked like I missed a stitch. I hadn't really, but I think maybe I just split the yarn a bit in the heel section, so I just ripped back 2 rows of the heel and redid those, and then at the foot this morning, because it's now about 2:30 in the afternoon when I'm recording this. So yeah, this is also a Drops Fable by Garn Studio, and it's the Blue Sea colorway. And I'm really pleased. I can show you what here. That's what it looks like in the skein. It's color 162, in case you want to know. I've mentioned before, I put the date when I bought the skein. Oh, that's blowing it out. Okay. So it's the Blue Sea colorway, and it has a nice, like the orange, the pinks, like the dark blues, and the dark purples and everything. So I'm really happy with how the sock turned out. And I literally just cast on. I have like 5 rows on the second sock, so no second sock syndrome here. I'm hoping to finish at least, the leg portion and the heel and maybe half the foot by tonight. We'll see, depends on how Soot is going to behave. So yeah, then I have worked a bit on the sweater, not as much as I'd like, because I was really into knitting those socks. And well, no, that's not true. I've worked on the sweater in the mornings and during lunchtime, because I didn't want, knowing that these socks were bleeding so much onto my hands, I didn't want to work on them in the morning and then, you know, even though I washed my hands, it still like stayed behind a bit, like the darker color, and it looked like I had dirty hands, like I hadn't washed my hands, but I had, you know. So I decided to work on the sweater in the morning and during lunchtime, and then I worked on the socks in the evening. That's why it took slightly longer to knit those socks. But I'm now 5 balls into the sweater, and I'm pretty much sure. And I put the stitches for the sleeves on like a really short cable, so I can't show it better than this. Pretty sure that I'm already at the point I need to be. I think I need to do another 4 rows. Yeah, I have another 4 rows to do, and then I'm gonna put the sleeve stitches onto separate cables. So one cable for this one cable for this one, and try it on and see if it's already at the right length, because this is gonna take it's going to have quite a bit of ribbing at the bottom, like a large section of ribbing, so I don't need to do the whole, do a lot more in length. So, and this yarn is the Garden Studio Lima in the 0619 colorway, which is a nice like brown, and it's like super soft. So yeah, and in case you're wondering, this is I think I said last week, but I'll say it again. This is 35% alpaca, 65% wool, and all the alpaca blends, or all the yarn by Garden Studio drops that have alpaca in them are currently 25% off until the end of the year. So get some yarn. It's like really cheap. This, like the Lima, is roughly 170 per skein at the moment. So it's not bad. It depends on how many skeins I want to use. I bought some extra and what the and I already knew what the yardage was I needed, and I bought some extra because just in case I want to make the sweater a bit longer. Yeah, just in case. And you know, this is great yarn. I can use it for hats or mittens or something like that. So it's not going to go to waste. It's going to, and if anything, I know I can return it to the yarn or swap it for a different color or something. So yeah, that's it for my finished objects, for my whips. The only thing I have now is to show some stash enhancement, which I had said yesterday when I left the house I wasn't going to buy any. But then, like I said, Jose was here, and she not only brought everything she needed to do the spinning class, she also brought some of her hand-painted yarns and the sock blanks, and I just couldn't resist. I managed to, I saw them before I left Ovelha Negra, because we all went to have lunch together, and then Rosario and the other ladies that came from Lisbon and Coimbra, they stayed behind because they were going to do the class, and I went with the others to the knitting, to the cafe where we usually have our knitting group, and I'd already seen the yarn before leaving the Ovelha Negra, so but I was like, I'm not even gonna get close and look at it or whatever. And then when they finally arrived back at Ovelha Negra around 6:30 in the afternoon, Rosario brought out the yarn she still had left over, or the things. Sorry, the things she still had left over, and you know, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take photos. I'm not gonna do anything. And some people chose some other skeins that she had there, and I ended up caving in. I couldn't resist. So I have some sock yarn. They're both sock yarn. One's a sock blank, and the other is just a regular skein. This is a self-striping skein that she dyed up, and I just really like the colors. And that's a pretty good representation of what's on the screen. It's pretty good what you can see. So it's blues, purples, yellows, oranges, and it's all self-striping. So can't wait to. I'm definitely gonna make a pair of socks out of these. I think a nice pair of socks Maybe just a plain vanilla sock, just to show off the striping. We'll see. I know that Nana from the Mange de Verde podcast, she received one for the sock club, and she's knitting. I can't remember the pattern she's knitting, but it's knitting up quite nicely. So maybe just a simple pattern. I don't know, but definitely socks. And then I know I got the one sock blank with the sock yarn club, but I wanted another one, and I just couldn't resist. Like, and sorry. And now, some people will probably be like, Raquel, why did you get one that's blue and brown? Because I don't know if I've mentioned it before, maybe I have, but when I was living in South Africa, I asked for a school uniform, and that was a brown uniform with a, it wasn't blue, it was like a dirty bluish greenish. I think next time I'm at my parents' house, I know my mom has a shirt left. She kept a shirt, and I know she has some of the stuff from some pieces of our uniform. So next time I'm at my parents' place, I'll see if I can dig up those things and I'll show you. But ever since then, I've avoided wearing blue and brown together. And recently, since I started knitting, I've decided that blue and brown actually go nicely together. So yeah, I got over it. You know, it's like 20 odd years ago, so I got over it. And then again, it's never the exact shades of my uniform anyway, so this was not the brown, it was a lot darker, and this is not the blue of my uniform, so these are also going to be socks. And I know how they're going to knit up, so I can't wait to knit these up. I don't know if I'm still going to cast these on this month, we'll see. I have this pair to finish, and then one more in the collection by Mina Philip, the Beyond Vanilla socks. And then I have a couple other patterns I wanted to knit, so we'll see how, like I said, there's like 8 days left of to the end of the month, so I don't know, I might not be able to finish. If I can finish this pair of socks today, or at least tomorrow, and finish the next pair of socks by like start it immediately and like finish it by Friday or Saturday, I might be able to do one more pair of socks, because next week I won't be working on the 31st of October, as it's a public holiday on the 1st of November, so I'm taking the day off on the 31st. And I will be closing the thread on the Tuesday morning, so on the 1st of November, early in the morning, I will close out, so you guys have a couple extra hours, you know, so if you post your pictures on the 1st of November, I'll accept anything that's in there until the moment I close the thread, in the finished object thread. So, you know, just because it's like, you're like, oh, it's the end, it's already the 1st of November, if it's still early enough, see if you can get in there and close out, post a picture of your finished socks. I won't go through the prices again, I'll do that next week. I did not get around to choosing fabrics, or I was choosing fabrics yesterday from what I have in my stash, and so that was the idea was to sew some project bags today, but I don't have enough. I don't have zippers. I need to go buy a zipper, so I need to go. Hopefully, shops will be open on Monday. I mean Saturday. I'll see if I can go next week Saturday. In the morning, I'll go get some more zippers, and in the meantime, I'll cut up the fabric pieces and iron on the interfacing I use and all that, so that it's basically all ready to go. And then next weekend, I'll be sewing some project bags, and then hopefully I'll have some finished to show you on next week's podcast. And then yeah, and if anything, I'll put them in the top section of the finished object thread, like I've been doing, I've got to. I'm gonna be talking to Manuela from Italy again, because she said she'd send me some photos, and she hasn't sent me any photos yet. So I'm gonna talk to her again, see if she can send me some photos so I can add those too. Of the prizes she said she'd donate to the giveaway. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for today. I haven't really been doing anything much this week, and my phone is ringing now, so I'm gonna have to. It's on silent, so you can maybe you heard some buzzing, but I'll see in a second who that is. Yeah, I think that's it. Sits here fast asleep. It's getting darker. The light is going. It's getting really dark outside, so I'm thinking there's going to be a pretty heavy rainfall again in a minute. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. See you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.